People in Boston will have a rare opportunity to hear a neglected work by a famous Russian composer. The Commonwealth Lyric Theater will stage 3 performances of the opera Aleko, or The Gypsies, by Sergei Rachmaninoff. And to tell us about the production are 2 guests from Commonwealth Lyric Theater, the executive director Olga Lisovskaya and the artistic director Alexander Prokhorov. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having us again on your program.
I was with Olga. I was a little surprised myself how rare this performance is, even in the United States, for this opera.
Correct. When I did my research and I was looking for the performance of Aleko in the United States, the only date that I found was 1916 in New York City, and that performance was done by Boston Grand Opera, which is no more. However, in Europe, it's a staple. If you travel to Europe, you can most probably see that opera. So it really is surprising that it's not staged more often here in the United States.
I just got a message from a friend musician from Germany. He's Russian. Oh, we're doing Aleko in Germany right now, but with the piano version, no orchestra. So it's pretty common there, but not here.
Alexander, you did the adaptation, and this is an opera based on a poem by Pushkin. And one thing I always heard about Pushkin was you can't translate him, especially into English.
Yes, the concept of our production is to combine Rachmaninoff's music with the traditional gypsy music. And there is some history before that, why we decided to do that. One of them, Rachmaninoff composed this opera when he was just 17, and it was big influence of Tchaikovsky and Borodin, plus traditionally at that time the ballet ballet, classical ballet. So it's not possible to have a really gypsy dances on stage on Mariinsky Theater or Bolshoi Theater. It's just impossible. So we decided to reopen it. Yeah.
Quite bold, and we inserted traditional gypsy music and dances into the original score. But it's so well done, and it's so kind of seamlessly made into the score that I think audiences are not going to even notice that something's going on.
But you're not too far from what's originally in the mix here, because I think you go back 100 years or a bit more. Rachmaninoff must have heard these gypsy romances like Orchichorny or something like that.
That's Sasha's specialty.
Yeah.
Yes, but at the same time, to put Orchichorny in Rachmaninoff, it would be a wrong decision. So we selected pretty traditional gypsy music and not that popular. So I did a big search. What else I could say about that? The gypsies at that time, Rachmaninoff's time, they sang really good, and they actually were trained, and they sounded pretty classic.
And turning to Olga, tell us about some of the performers, especially the soloist who's going to be playing the part of Aleko.
We're very blessed once again to have international stars on our production. Mikhail Svetlov is a very famous bass from Bolshoi Theater, and he's a soloist at La Scala and at the Met, and he's going to be singing the lead role of Aleko. We do have 2 casts, so we have many different singers. They're all wonderful, highly professional singers. Mikhail Svetlov stands out to us because he comes back to our company already for the 3rd time. He did sing the role of King Rene in Iolanta, and he did sing with us at the Opera Gala, which you just saw, and he's gonna sing Aleko. And we were very fortunate to find Pavel Izdebsky, a Wagnerian bass from Germany, who sings with Zubin Mehta. He sings leading Wagnerian bass roles, and he was so excited about performing the old gypsy role that he contacted me all the way from Germany, and he said that he'd be very interested in coming and performing with us here.
We're going to take a look at this excerpt from one of the performers. Alexander, as Olga has told me before, this is practically a Carmen story in Russian, so it ought to be a hit. And it was a hit when it was first performed. But I guess that this opera is also a tragedy, and this character, Aleko, a central figure, really, that you see more of in Russian literature.
Yes. This is about the domestic violence. This is about the killing, jealousy,
Passion, murder,
passion,
love. But it's more complicated. I wouldn't say just a domestic violence, actually, because Aleko himself is not a character that's set on murdering somebody. He is a very complicated character, like all characters are in Russian literature, and he's in love with this woman Zemfira, just like Don José is in love with Carmen in the famous Carmen, and he cannot envision his life without her anymore, while she is a wild, whimsical, gorgeous woman who just basically got tired of this Russian man, and she falls in love with a young gypsy. And when he begs her, when Aleko begs her to come back to him, she's not afraid. She just answers with such strength in her that something snaps inside of him. And another interesting thing in this opera is, well, not in the opera, in the poem by Pushkin, is that there is this idea of a curse, generational curse, that old gypsy, actually Sasha is going to be singing in one of the casts, the old gypsy, and he sings this gorgeous aria about how his woman, his wife, left him with a crying baby, little girl. And this little girl, she grows up, and she is Zemfira, and she leaves her husband.
The battle between freedom and fate. We should mention briefly, Alexander, when this is going to be performed and how people can follow up if they're interested.
It's going to be June 9th at 3 p.m.
Two performances
on June 9th, 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. And also we have performances during the week. Tuesday night at 8 p.m.
June 11th.
And June 11th, Thursday at 8 p.m.
And June 13th, Thursday. And you can see all the information on www.commonwealthlyrictheater.com.
All right, well, thank you both very much, Alexander Prokhorov and Olga Lisovskaya.
Thank you.
We'll have more news in just a moment.